Everybody, welcome back to Power Play on Wicked Good Sports. We're joined as always by Chris Uminski. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Brian. How are you?
Doing quite well. Excited to talk a little bit about the Bruins. I like the background you got going on for the people watching. This is a new setup. You got the sweatshirt. You got jersey in the back. I love it. I'm guessing you're excited for the start of the regular season.
Yes, I am.
All right, so how'd the preseason go so far? I guess it's over now. How'd the preseason go, period?
So the Bruins did pretty well in the preseason. They only lost 2 games, and both of those losses were in shootouts. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, pretty much the best case, I guess.
Yeah.
You do get a point if you lose in shootouts in the regular season, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, hey, if you got to lose, probably the best way to lose.
I'm pro shootout personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, like so far after the preseason, the team looks pretty good. We know for sure a couple of things. Jeremy Swayman is probably going to be the starting goalie.
Okay.
Linus Olmark, they'd had him starting for most of the preseason, but he didn't look great. So it's looking like Swayman's going to be the starter, which I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm a Jeremy Swayman fan.
So what was this whole, Tuukka saying he wanted to play, but, he's still recovering from surgery? What's going on there?
So Tuukka Rask has been saying that he wants to stay in Boston. He wants to keep playing with the Bruins. But he has a pretty serious injury that he's dealing with right now. He has to have surgery, and he's not even going to be available to play until February.
Okay, that's not great. That's 4 months away. So it's not really like the Bruins can just wait for him, right?
Right, yeah. It's weird because this is the first season in a long time, since longer than I can remember probably, that either Tuukka Rask or Yaroslav Halak or both haven't been in the starting lineup.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, you're just saying that you like who our starter is going to be. Do you think that potentially Swayman, that's the way you pronounce his name, right? Do you think Swayman will potentially just kind of take a hold of this role and just kind of go with it for the rest of the season?
I think there's a very strong possibility of that. Swayman, he hasn't played a full NHL season yet, but in the games that he's played in, he's I'm in lockstep with the rest of the hockey world on this, that he looks really good. He's absolutely playing at an NHL level, even in his rookie season. He already beat out one Bruins goalie for the starting job. Now he just beat out Linus Olmark, who's a longtime veteran of the league, and now Tuukka's going to have a fight on his hands if and when he comes back.
Right.
I think there's a good chance Swayman will just take it.
Makes sense. So, outside of goalie, what are your big impressions of the offense and defense? Do you think we're in a good place heading into the season? Anything you'd like to see improved upon?
Well, I mean, I like Taylor Hall. Still looks really good, even without David Krejci. They got Charlie Coyle playing center on the second line now, and him and Hall have a good back and forth too. Nick Foligno, who is a new member of the team, he looks wicked good on the third line. Jake DeBrusk. I would like to see Trent Frederick do a little better. He had a great season last year. He made a reputation for himself as an enforcer, kind of getting under people's skin. He fought with Tom Wilson last year. But this whole preseason, he just didn't look great. He got demoted to fourth line. And I definitely think he's probably the player that could use the most improvement. And, the defense actually looks pretty good right now. And, my main thing on this channel is defense.
Yeah.
And that they don't do anything. They did bring in somebody. It's the one defenseman they brought in the offseason. That's Derek Forbort. He also looks wicked good. He's playing on the first line with Charlie McAvoy. And they look good together. Yeah, I guess the only thing I would have liked to see is I wish Linus Ullmark did a little better. He's going to be the backup for Swayman, so I hope that when he is playing, he can produce. But other than that, I'm comfortable with the goalies right now.
All right, awesome. Anything else you want to mention about the Bruins before we get on to our next topic?
Well, there is a new assistant captain. It is Charlie McAvoy. He's taking the A from David Krejci, who obviously left the team. Yeah. So we got some new leadership, some new players, some old faces, some new ones too. I'm excited for the season to start.
No, absolutely.
And happy to have NHL hockey back.
And you said before we were recording the 16th of October, that's when we're dropping the puck on the Bruins season?
Yes.
All right, so be there. We will definitely be there, but make sure you're all there so you know what we're talking about.
That's right.
All right, so we got some, I don't know if, I guess it's disappointing in the sense that it's like, I can't believe a professional athlete would try to do something like this, but not surprising based on the previous conversations we've had around this individual. Chris, do you want to explain the situation we got going on here?
So, a little while back, we talked about Evander Kane and the stuff going on, him fighting with his ex, he was accused of gambling on his own games.
Not great.
I mean, he's just a shit show.
Right.
Well, so the NHL launched an investigation into that, as well as other off-ice activities. And there's one thing that this investigation turned up. You were talking with Jack not long ago about COVID and vaccination in the NBA.
Yes, Kyrie Irving specifically, or I guess most notably, not wanting to get vaccinated. Andrew Wiggins, who we talked about, has gotten vaccinated since then, so good update for him. But yeah, it's a controversial subject going on in the NBA. Similar thing for the NHL?
In the NHL, there's just about every player is vaccinated. As far as I know, there hasn't really been a whole lot of controversy. Except, so one of the things that the NHL investigation into Evander Kane turned up was that he may have used a fake vaccination card or faked his proof of vaccination to, qualify to play in the league. Because just like every other sport, you have to be vaccinated to play in the NHL this year,
right?
Barring extenuating circumstances. And this is even that alone is a big deal, but not only can that is that against NHL rules, but it's illegal in Canada and the United States.
Yeah, it's against the real laws.
Yeah, it's like trying to use a fake passport to get into another country. That's.
Oh my God! I mean, at this point, with the way we've talked about him, are you surprised that he tried to pull something like this?
No, not even in the slightest. This is another one of those things with him. It's like no matter what they turn up, I'm not going to be surprised. It's looking like it's leaning towards he probably did it.
Jesus Christ.
I don't see any reason for them to say that he did when in fact he didn't. This is just like another thing with him where he's just, if this doesn't get him booted from the league, nothing else will, because this is something that they can terminate his contract for.
Yeah, I mean, and like we said, let alone what potential legal ramifications this will have. Like, you can't just do this as a famous person and people just be like, okay, whatever. I think, anyways. I don't know. I feel like he could be someone they make an example of.
Well, that's the thing, too, is... So, we were just talking about how preseason's going on. The San Jose Sharks, who Evander Kane plays for, they haven't... Evander Kane hasn't been practicing with them. He hasn't been playing in their preseason games. It's looking like the Sharks are probably going to move on from him. And now it's just a question of, do they just release him and ship his contract out someplace else? Do they trade him, maybe try to get something for him, although I don't know what team would want him at this point.
At this point, yeah. Sad's kind of tired.
or the NHL can actually step in and totally terminate the contract.
Which might be what the Sharks might be like, please, hopefully that happens. Like, because they probably just don't want to deal with him anymore, if I imagine.
Well, like we talked about last time, how like the Sharks players went to the organization and said, "Get him the fuck off of our team."
Yeah, so it's just crazy stuff. When you sent me this, I was like, "Is this real? Like, what the hell? Why would someone do this?" But hey, Evander Kane, what a guy!
So stupid. Like, I don't know. Yeah, no, I think if his career isn't done now, then I don't know what it's gonna be.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, Chris. Anything else you want to touch on before we get on out of here for this episode?
Nope. Just once again, NHL hockey is back. The first regular season games in the league do start next week.
Yes.
I know I personally will be tuning into the Seattle Kraken game next week.
Right.
And then the Bruins on the 16th, and then we're just rolling regular season from there.
Yes, very exciting. Hopefully this is a good year for the Bruins, as it'll be the first full year coverage on Wicked Good Sports at the Bruins. So exciting stuff as always. Chris, where can we find you online?
Best place to find me is on Twitter, Chris_Uminski. I'm always tweeting about hockey. I'm always making fun of the Maple Leafs, bitching about the Bruins defense. And just all sorts of great hockey talk on my Twitter feed.
Awesome. Go follow him there. You can follow me on Twitter at FakeBMars. Our channels on Twitter at WickedGoodSport or WGEverything. So you can go to Twitch at twitch.tv/ReviewedEverything, and on TikTok, just search Reviewed Everything and you'll find us there. Chris, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all in the next one.